Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Uplift. Whether you're watching us live or on replay, we appreciate you. And if you happen to be a spiritual leader or healer, I don't know, it might be a really good show for you to watch.
Maybe. We'll see you in a minute.
Hello and welcome to Uplift. Uplifting conversations that set your heart on fire. As usual, my name is Sarah Wade. I haven't changed it recently. I am, of course, an art therapist, co-host of this amazing show, and a mum and coach, and so many more things, because there's more than one thing that makes up ourselves, right? More in that in a minute. As usual, joining us from Calgary in Canada, Mr. Neil Russell. Welcome.
Welcome, Sarah. I'm completely nerded and geeked out. I spent a greater part of a long weekend here in Canada or in North America. It's called the Labor Day weekend, and I went to a science fiction convention, and I'm just totally geeked out and absolutely loving life and bigger and loving life. As Sarah said, I am the co-host of the Uplift show. I am an author. I am what am I? I don't want to be defined by roles. I'm just a human being trying to get along in this world. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to have Michelle Saluta on the show. This is the second time I've actually had her on the show. Welcome, Michelle.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. How exciting. What a great from Gold Coast. So, yeah.
Gold
Coast. So, yes. I know, sunny Gold Coast. We've actually got some sun today, which is beautiful. But thanks for having me on the show. What a great welcome. And I love that you were geeked out, Neil. And, yes, Sarah, you haven't changed your name since last we saw you. Love it. But thanks for having me here.
Yeah, yes, I know.
You can do
that. Well,
that.
I've changed my hair color too. It's going gray.
Too much
dye out.
So,
everybody that you... Go, Neil.
Michelle, we're just so excited to have you on the show to talk about helping holistic people, holistic practitioners make changes in their life. And I am hoping it's epic changes for the good and not evil.
I love that sort of, yes. But no, definitely for the good, because, we want people out there to spread their message and to really step into that space so they can help more people. And look, being a holistic practitioner myself, I know what it's like to hide behind the shadows of what it is that we do and not step into that spotlight, so to speak, so that people know who you are. I mean, you guys have experienced that at some level. We all start somewhere, right?
Absolutely. I started here.
The change. Yeah, I think that's an interesting thing about us as humans, as we grow and evolve, our levels of safety and security change, our level of comfortability changes, our level of growth changes, and there's always that next level. Michelle, I'm curious, with that next level, what's one thing that you've noticed with spiritual leaders that as they're leveling up, that they keep butting into?
Look, and I don't think it's specific to just spiritual leaders and entrepreneurs and practitioners and such. I think it's often ourselves. Look, I don't know about you guys, but I know that I'm forever butting up against myself. Another belief that I come up against that I need to challenge, push through. Am I good enough? Can I do it? Do I know enough? What if someone doesn't like what I do? Like, there's all these aspects, and it's us. I mean, I think we're our greatest enemy to some degree.
absolutely. One of the Buddhist teaching is the greatest battle we will ever fight and our biggest enemy is ourself.
Love that. Yeah. And it's so true. Because and I think just leading to what you were saying, Sarah, it was like every level there's another devil, right? So, we start at one spot and we want to move to the next, and as the next one does move, we move up the level. There's something else that we need to break through. And often it's something internal, often it's a belief, often it's a perception, often it's just a story. Just a story we have, something. Well, it sounds simple, but, it can prevent us from doing what it is that we want to do.
So, Michelle, I want to know a secret. Were you born this smart, or did you have to hit a few bumps in the road?
Oh, good question. I think there's always that misconception at times with people that we know what we know and we've always been wise, or it's come easy, or we've just navigated life without any challenges. But no, I've had a lot of challenges. I've had plenty of ups and downs and plenty of bumps in the roads. It's been one hell of an emotional journey to get here. I have to tell you that. That's probably another 3 or 4 episodes. So, look, honestly, I could share it, but it hasn't been an easy road whatsoever. And I think we all sort of start down this path of where we think we're going, but we end up in a completely different place. And look, I never even thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now, ever. In a million years, I thought I'd just be a mum, raise my children, being a good little housewife, but I'm completely opposite to that whatsoever. And here I am. So look, it hasn't come without challenges, many challenges, and it hasn't been hard, it hasn't been easy. It's been a lot of hardness, a lot of tears, a lot of feeling completely lost along the way. And I think most people, they can relate to that because they've experienced it, or else they're going through it right
now. Absolutely. Sarah,
Absolutely. I was listening to Mel Robbins this morning.
Yeah. Sarah, I know you've lived a gifted life. You've had no struggles, 0 struggles.
Yeah, no, that's me. 0 struggles, Sarah. That's what they call me. I think it's quite factual to say we've all had our own struggles, and whether we choose to lean into it and keep struggling, or if we choose to go, shit, I'm angry, or I'm jealous, or I've got an emotion inside me that's actually pulling me, and it's a strong navigation of my boundary, or a want, or a desire. When we listen to those things and we truly, I've learned my major lessons when I've learned and leaned into those moments. If I just, la, 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 I don't know about you guys, but I just rinse and repeat the same thing. It might be with a different person. Obviously, usually they have a different name. However, you still get those lessons. And I think, we're all got stuff that is a little bit left of center, or not quite right, or something that maybe we want to hide from others because maybe others might not like that. And they're all things that we all deal with. And I know that Neil has experienced these too. And if you're watching this live or in replay, if you've experienced this too, please let us know, and please feel free to share your experience. We'd love to connect with you too. So Neil, Mr. Perfect, how does Mr. Perfect sort of handle life? Because I was far from Michelle and I.
Well, for me, I don't know about you, but in when you're building a house, you can buy lumber of different thicknesses. And when I first come to a problem, using the imperial measurement, the stick that hits me is just a little 2x2. And then when I don't pay attention, it gets a little thicker. And it hits me a little harder, and it becomes 2 inches by a 4-inch piece of wood. And then when I think that I'm in the pits of despair, it hits me with this great big 8-inch by 8-inch piece of lumber and smacks me on the head. And I finally pay attention. when I know better, I've done all the training, NLP, blah, blah. I've done the training to pay attention to the little things in life, the little hiccups. And I don't know, it's my human nature to go, no, I really need to be hit with those big boards.
Yeah, I think a lot of us can relate to those big boards too, because it's quite common to ignore those little signs, isn't it? You know, we've all experienced those. We've all moved forward and ignored that. Oh, it's all right, I'll get back to that later. And then, as Neil said, that bigger 2x4 comes, or the 4x4, or the 16x4, or whatever size piece of wood or truck or brick or whatever hits you. It can really hurt, and it can damage our ego. It can damage our self-esteem. It can damage so much. It can damage relationships too. Michelle, on that, leaning into that, how do you learn to love yourself in those moments as you try to move forward and come out to growth mode?
Oh, look, that's a really great question, because you know, we do have two choices here. We have that choice to not accept ourselves, or to be even more critical, or to feed the story and feed the fires that really take us away from who we truly are and what we can actually become. Or we can, like you said, Sarah, and I love that, is we can lean into it. And when we lean into it, it's being gentle, softer and kinder. There are so many people out there who can treat us poorly. You know, I think we've all seen that over the last few years. We've come across that in our life, whether that be people who are close to us or just people within our environments, in our community. And there's enough that don't treat us well through their own challenges or whatever might be coming up for them. That why should we be the other person that treats us so poorly? And yeah, exactly. You know, we end up picking up the stick along with everyone else and kind of beating ourselves along the way. But it really does become a process. And I think when you start to talk about, you know, how do we love ourselves along this you know, whether it be post-traumatic growth journey or just this journey we call life, it is a process. It's a lifelong learning to do so. And that's just accepting, you know, I don't have to be perfect, but I need to keep my standards there, so I'm trying. Well, yes, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Neil. Perfect, right? Lucky you. But, you know, it can be difficult, particularly when you've had people whisper in your ear that you can't do this. You're not good enough to do it. You shouldn't do it. And we have these little voices just outside of us, whether it be real people or these perceived people in our head, who keep taking us away from what we should be doing, who we should be, what we should be experiencing, what lights our soul on fire. And yet, again, we have the two choices. We can listen, or we can listen to that internal voice and go, you know what, I'm going to listen to me. And what happens with that is we start to trust ourselves a little bit more. When we trust ourselves a little bit more, we fall in love with ourselves a little bit more. We start to nurture ourselves a little bit more, and we start to do it again. And we start to do it again. So it builds this beautiful process of becoming, which I love. I love seeing that with people as they start to really step into their own and listen to that voice, their voice, not the voice of the world that may be or may not be telling them what's right.
Today, I learned that someone shared with me their opinion on why people stop us from growing. And many of us have heard the crab in the crab pot where they pull us down. But one person explained it to me is that they love us they love the person that you are so much that they're deathly afraid of the change of the person that you are going to become.
Yes. Yeah, because it impacts them and who they are. It scares them. You know, when life changes around us and people are changing, the people we love, then we start to question who we are in relation to that. So as soon as we start to do that, we're creating this identity shift. And for a lot of people, it becomes really uncomfortable. Who am I if this person changes? Who am I in their world? Will they love me still? Will I still be with them? You know, or will they reject me? You know, there's so many questions that come up. And this is why that crabs in a bucket analogy, just it works so well because it's so true. People keep us where they want us because it's safe for them. Safe for them.
Absolutely. So if our readers or viewers or listeners on live or on replay wanted to get a hold of you, is this the best place to get a hold of you, Michelle?
Well, you can get a hold of me through my Facebook. So that would be the best place. That what you've got up there is a little free grip. Oh, there we go. We've got the Facebook link down below. So other than that, we have a lovely little ebook that I created for people who are looking to start their own business, or they're already in the process of building their own holistic practice or trying to step into that online space. But I wrote this for you. Some of the 6 mistakes that we make when we're trying to attract our ideal client. So that is yours, my friend. Yeah, love the face, Neil. But Facebook is the best place to contact me.
Wonderful. So, speaking of 6 mistakes, could you share just with Sarah and I and no one else what one of those mistakes could be that people are doing, and that you could save them hours, days, maybe even a lifetime of going in the wrong direction?
Oh, goodness, where to start? I think there's a very comprehensive list to this. And it's one thing, that's why I love what I do, is it's not just one thing, it's many things, which I've only got 6 in the book. And there's more, but I'll share a couple. So again, I'll just share it with you guys. So if anyone's listening, turn away, stop listening right now. And that way, Neil and Sarah get the best of this. But look, for a lot of people I see, and you've probably seen this, and you've probably started doing this yourself, is really not creating the relationships with those that could be your potential client at all. So, we're not connecting with them, we're not sharing with them, we're not creating this know, like, and trust process for many of them. And I think one of the mistakes I see is they're just posting and trying to show people what they've got, but it could be just an event, but they're not showing people who they are and creating the relationship that goes with that. And because I don't know about you, I like to buy from people I know. Word of mouth's great, or else, if I'm sort of stalking, yeah, I know, right? Stalking on someone, I want to know more about them. I want to know who this person is. And so we need to create a relationship, not just sell a product. It's about relationship building more than anything, because I think, I don't know what it was like 50 years ago, but today it is about relationships. Who do I have the most rapport with? Who do I know the most? Who do I feel like is like me? And that's who I buy off. So that's one.
Or also, I would add, who is the person that I'm becoming? If I hired a coach who was already like me, I don't know that they'd be able to push me as much as that person that I'm aspiring to be. So there's a little bit of yes and no there I wanted to add. And I love that people see us for us, right? So if you go onto Michelle's page, you can see a variety of posts. You can see her lives, you can see her reels, you can see her written posts, and you get to know Michelle, just like you get to know Neil and I. So if you're not doing that, maybe take a leaf out of Michelle's book and style it your way. Speaking of Michelle, you can see across the screen, you can find her at facebook.com/Michelle's Fallujah.